so now we're going to stamp and emboss the poinsettia. So I'm going to do this one with white embossing powder, and I'm doing it on vellum. You could do it on white cardstock if you want it. I just wanted it to have a little bit of a softer, oops, ignore that. We're gonna work on the opposite side from where that was now. So we're going to stamp it, make sure to press nice and firmly. And when you're pressing firmly, you especially want to do the center of the stamp. That's often where you have trouble. It's really easy to get the impression from the side of the stamp, but we want to make sure we get the center detail of the poinsettia. So I'm going to pour my powder on. Make sure to get some in that corner there. And you can see right away if there's anything missing. You can make sure to get that. So I'm going to use my heat gun for embossing. And just like the first video with the silver powder, you can see exactly where it's embossed and where it's not embossed. So you want to make sure to move the heat gun around slowly while you're embossing. So it's all completely done. And I'm actually going to do that a second time because this card has this centerpiece that's just cut a little bit smaller than the entire poinsettia, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll come back. All right, so that is done. Here you can see I've got some white from where I dropped the stamp. It stuck to the ink, but I didn't bother taking my brush and brushing it off because I knew I only wanted this center part. That part didn't bother me. It's going to be cut off anyways. So you need to use a pair of scissors that is nice and sharp, and preferably a smaller pair of scissors. If you have a pair of scissors that has a really long cutting blade to it, you're just going to have a little bit harder time getting in some of the detailed areas. So I cut maybe like a 1/16 or so away from the stamp. If you want, you can cut it right next to the embossing powder. I don't mind having that little bit of extra. I think if it was just regular cardstock, I would cut it closer and be a little bit more precise with it. But because the background of the card is a little bit more loose looking, a little bit more mixed media looking, I don't mind if it's not precise. And then if you have extras while you're cutting it, just take it off. It'll get it out of your way. You'll find some stamps where you can get dies that match them. That will make this process a little bit easier, but in general, poinsettias are fairly easy to cut out. And obviously it doesn't have to, you don't have to do this technique with this exact poinsettia stamp. Any one will work, and really any other image will work as well. It's just a technique. You can use it with whatever stamp you want. And if I wanted, I could take my second layer and I could just cut exactly the same poinsettia out and then just offset it so it was a little bit fuller, but it was the full size of the poinsettia. It's really your choice how you do it. So that one is done. I'm going to turn this video off now. I'm going to cut the other one, and I'm going to cut it smaller, so I'm just leaving all of the outside poinsettia flowers out. And then I will see you in the next video where we will emboss some of the images from the stamps onto that background.